And welcome back to the B&A Show, the only podcast which is both for and against various crimes. We won't tell you which ones. How are you doing, my dude?
Very good. I'm just thinking, what crimes are we for, actually?
You mean the ones that you admit to on it, like, you know...
I never admit to nothing.
Oh, yeah, sorry, not admit. You take people's plans and you make them better.
Which...
when they're criminals.
It's never... that's not the intention every single time. Like, I don't know why you think I'm a criminal mastermind, because I'm pretty sure there are people that are much better than myself.
I'm just saying, if it was the 1920s and we were in Chicago, you would be Al Capone's numbers guy. He would not have been done for tax evasion if you were his guy.
But the main problem with Al Capone, he didn't want to actually pay taxes.
No, he did not want to pay taxes.
Because if he would have just paid his taxes, he would have been fine.
Yeah, maybe like murder less people as well, but he never actually got caught for any of those. So.
Yeah, no, so it was just taxes. So yeah, fun. Why,
I don't know
why are we talking about this?
Because it's fun, dude. And besides, we're going to be talking about lots of crimes today, specifically stealing shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, stealing stuff.
I don't know, allegedly.
No, not allegedly. It's like a matter of historical record.
Okay. Go on.
So, like, I can't really claim credit for this idea. This actually comes from my beloved partner, who just said, hey, how much stuff is actually in the British Museum and how much of it was nicked? And I'm like, oh, okay.
All of it. All of it, most of it.
Quite a lot of it. Less than you'd think, though. Quite a lot of it is gifts from like various people, but
gifts.
The question then becomes, how did they get their hands on it in the first place? So, like, everything valuable at some point has been stolen. So it usually sort of goes like a chain of connection back to who originally had it, and then no one's quite sure because it all gets lost in history. So, depending on your definition of stealing.
Or gifting. I just feel like it's a very loose term now.
It kind of is. Whether or not something is contested is like more interesting than whether or not it was stolen in the first place.
Didn't the Indian government ask for that diamond?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I'm sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, that one has a very interesting history.
Because that one's insane, isn't it?
It's kind of a crazy story, yeah. But
you're not gonna start with that, are you?
No, I'm gonna start with some good old, because I know what you. I know you, Andre. I know what you really want. You want a list.
You're gonna give me numbers.
Large numbers.
Yes,
nice, of course.
Nice.
So, besides all the countries we nicked, like, India, Canada, China, Australia, parts of America...
Can you just name the ones we didn't? Because it's a much shorter list.
I mean, I'm trying to think of one. I don't think we did invade Russia. Yeah, that was a thing. Eventually, at some point, Britain has been at war with everybody for one reason or another. Usually over a bunch of shit that we wanted to steal, and they would rather that we did not.
Yeah, but it's funny because if you look at history, you think, oh, we're not going to do that again. That was back in the day. It's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. We still own parts of the world that we probably shouldn't.
Well, we're not just talking about the UK. I'm just speaking in general. As people still go for war for resources, which is insane.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. It's currently happening. It never stopped happening. It always will happen, unfortunately. It seems to just be part of how countries work.
So one government we need, and then you can't go to war to anybody if you're all one government.
Yeah, it's like, well, they did. I was just thinking, actually, Neon Genesis Evangelion, the UN runs everything. Maybe that's a good future, but they were still constantly at war with themselves. So... Remember when they made the mecha suits to fight the Evas because they didn't like the fact that Evas were like trapped souls of humans or whatever?
Yeah, that TV show is...
It's fucking interesting. It's an interesting way of looking at the world. Imagine if the UN did shit. That's like fascinating by itself.
Well, just the UN doing shit.
Yeah, just the UN doing anything at all would be...
I think you should watch Fire Force.
Fire Force?
It's an anime. It's great.
Oh, yeah, you've mentioned it to me before.
It's really great.
I can't remember what the actual, Wait, is that
was basically the world ended in fire, technically, and then it actually didn't, because it didn't go all the way, and then there's this organization that's trying to end the world again in fire, and then it turns out it's a god from a different dimension. It's a whole... It's really cool. It's really... You should watch
Japanese, media and doing, god from another dimension? Why, it's always a god from another dimension or some shit. Like, every Final Fantasy turned into that eventually.
Yeah, because, it's easier to just make up something in a different dimension and be like, oh, this is coming to us.
Yeah, it's like everything.
It's a very easy plot line.
It's why if you look up, the names of the, final boss of each Final Fantasy game, you won't know who they are if you read, the story, because it doesn't make any sense. It's like, actually, this guy was secretly being controlled by a god from another dimension, now fight him.
I think after we finish this, I'm gonna go on YouTube and look up the whole history of Final Fantasy, as in lore and how it tracks.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of reading, man.
I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna watch somebody on YouTube doing it, dude. I'm gonna do it the lazy way.
This is how people learn in the 21st century.
Yeah.
There is like entire channels dedicated to that, so you're gonna have some fun watching, dude. But
okay, because I'm planning to. To play some Diablo again, and I need to grind some shit. So
yeah, long lore
put that in the
videos
background, just sitting there as I grind. But anyway, this is not what we're talking about.
We're not
today,
talking
right?
about Final Fantasy. We're talking about the very real stuff that the British Empire stole.
Go on, Billy, give me some
So I found a
numbers.
little list. I'm not entirely sure where this source of numbers came from, but it's I've double checked most of them, and most of them are true. What do you like? The top 10 countries? Which countries do you think Britain, or specifically the British Museum, stole a whole bunch of their shit from? Stole the most from?
Egypt.
Egypt is number 3.
Oh, of course it is, because there was so much shit to steal.
They have a lot of shit to steal. Mummies,
Did I
anything.
ever tell you the story with the mummies?
The mummies? Which one?
Yeah, as in, so there's this thing that happened in Europe, right? They were grinding mummies down and use them as medicine.
Oh, yeah.
And the UK was great for it. Because that's why, because you remember when you said you went to that museum down where we're living?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you found that random mummy in an attic.
Yeah.
Not in an attic, in a room upstairs.
Yeah, just in a room in a glass case.
So basically, that probably one of the mummies that actually survived that sort of purge where everybody was grinding down mummies. And
Yeah.
so it's insane to see one so close to home, right?
That kind of,
being in
yeah.
London.
Like, that was what kind of triggered this whole episode, really. This whole, like, looking into...
Yeah, well, why is this mummy
Why
here?
is this fucking thing here? Like, this is a small town of absolutely no importance to anything. Why is there a mummy here? Why
wouldn't it be?
It's like, that's a literal dead person in a casket that's been, like, stolen from their country and shit. And, like, it's got a name and everything. They got, like, a whole history of, like, who bought it and sold it. And it's Christ, man. How did all this shit get here? Funnily enough, though, you'll struggle to guess the number 1 country on the list, though. Do you?
I don't think so. We're talking Persia sort of area, so Iraq?
Do you look at my notes?
No, I did not. No, because I know
Iraq was number 1.
Yeah, because the cradle of...
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, so it's the cradle of humanity is there. So I assume they stole a lot from there.
They did. Most of it's stolen during the 1800s, obviously, but some of it comes from, earlier stuff like the Baghdad House of Wisdom and, things, previous collections that have been around for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, the British bought or stole quite a lot of that shit.
Because Indiana Jones, because if you think of Indiana Jones, he was messing around there for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So Indiana Jones is a fictional character, but it's kind of...
It's not the first time he's going to come up in this episode, though.
Is he not?
Yeah, spoilers.
Dude, I love this episode already. Okay, so
very rarely would you have
how
the
many
chance
more
to.
countries you have on that list?
I've got a shitload. So second on the list, which might not surprise you, is Italy.
Really? Oh, because Rome.
Yeah,
of course it is.
Roman artifacts.
Let me guess, you
deal.
have Greece on there?
First things first.
Okay.
Guess how many artifacts were taken from Iraq in the British Museum currently? Rough guess.
Rough guess.
Yeah.
We're talking in the thousands. Hundreds of thousands?
164,000. That's just from Iraq.
Wow. Which, it's insane if you ever been in the British Museum. You probably have.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was a kid, obviously, yeah.
Well, for me, it was quite recent because, you move to the UK, you need to see the British Museum at some point.
Yeah,
so we
it's a
spent
big-ass
about
museum.
3 days across different time periods all together. So we went and we seen everything and we got annoyed by the kids and the parents that don't look after the kids.
You're trying to avoid like priceless artifacts.
Exactly. And then people rushing you and people don't know personal space. Because you're like sitting there trying to read a plaque and they're like just trying to look at it and they move on.
And this is just the nature of the British tourist.
But it's not just British tourists, it's foreign tourists as well. They don't read the plaque, so they don't stop to read the plaque.
No.
They look at it and they move on, but they come into your personal space because you're sitting there trying to read it.
Anyway. It's kind of depressing of the state of British culture is that we're going to the museums just to look at the shit and go, huh, that's cool, and then walking off.
But they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, they don't even look at the plaques.
They're like, oh, look, a mummy, cool. Tell me more about this.
Yeah,
elaborate, right?
Mummies have got names. They've got like designations and like histories and shit.
But people don't read that stuff.
No.
They just move on. They just go, then they move on. And imagine, okay, I take a lot of time because being dyslexic, I had to read it twice to make sure I read it correctly. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he didn't say he had a cock in his ass. But so I read it again and I'm like, oh, that wasn't it. But anyway.
It was actually a chicken.
It was actually a chicken. Sorry, I went off track and I
it's
completely
fine.
forgot where I am.
People disrespecting stuff in the British Museum is kind of the theme for this.
Okay.
So second on the list, we've got Italy and Rome, obviously. So 147,000 artifacts from there. Egypt, 120,000.
Oh, we're doing still enough.
No, apparently not. This one, the fourth one, actually kind of threw me for a bit. France.
Well, that probably is the donation of artifacts.
Yeah,
right?
and all the times we
gifts.
kicked their asses in wars and stole their shit. So
you didn't kick their asses that many times.
5 by my count, but you know, it depends when you're counting from.
Yeah.
To be fair, they actually conquered us first, so
and actually, your royalty is
kind of
they're
German.
Normans. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
not what we're talking about. Stop taking off track. But yeah, shitloads of artifacts from France. 82,000, which from quite a lot of it probably is various historical periods.
I assume
where
you have a whole bunch of arrows, swords.
Yeah, stuff from Agincourt, that kind of shit.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool.
I did actually touch on the the Imperial War Museum, which is separate from the British Museum. I didn't actually dive into that stuff and see how.
I'm curious. I didn't even know about that one. I put it on my list to go see.
It's a very, very good museum if you like, stirring paintings of battles and cavalry charges and shit. Yeah,
nice.
If you like that old sharp kind of shit, then you'll appreciate the Imperial War Museum.
Swords.
Yeah, cavalry sabers and cannons and the Russians.
Stop talking dirty to me.
Turned on by colonialism. It's Andre. Billy and Andre show. Number 5 on the list, Turkey.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. There's a lot of history in Turkey.
Lots and lots of history in Turkey. Very ancient shit.
Yeah. Well, again, cradle of humanity was right next door to it, so they kind of migrated. They built loads of stuff. The Silk Road. No, the Silk Road didn't go to Turkey.
No, that went through Iran. You're thinking of.
Yeah. Never mind that.
Yeah. But still, they built lots of shit in Turkey, and it's been populated since 10,000 BC or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I think they had a lot of good land there, especially with the Black Sea and all that.
And Anatolia itself is just very fertile. It's really good for growing things.
Yeah. So there's a lot of humans, a lot of history, a lot of stealing,
and it's lots of shit lots of shit there to steal. Then at 6 we've got Germany.
Fair enough. That's fair.
I mean, Germany wasn't really a thing until quite recently, so...
Well, I assume it's, again, going back to saying it's probably out of somebody's collection out of Germany. They'd be like, oh, let's gift this so we can pay less tax or some sort.
Yeah, probably.
Or not pay taxes.
Not pay taxes at all. Speaking of taxes and not paying them, Greece.
Oh, yep.
Greece is on the list.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit depressing because I think Greece is one of the ones that we probably should have given their shit back quite a while ago.
Yeah, but there's no way back now, though. Anyway.
No, not really. And well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a bit more. Number 8 on the list is China.
Yeah,
we stole a lot of shit from China.
Well, are you surprised?
No, not really.
No, because it's if China wouldn't come up on the list, I would be very surprised.
I mean, yeah.
Given the fact that, you absolutely destroyed a society with opium that you grew up in India.
Yep.
Which I'm surprised is not on the list.
India, surprisingly, is not on the list, probably because we kind of owned and stuck around in India.
So we just destroyed everything.
Yeah, it wasn't like China. China, we invaded and made them basically our bitch with opium and whatever, but we didn't conquer all of China because, frankly, why the fuck would you do that? That's just stupid. It's really big.
Conquer 3 different
time zones, yeah. I think it's 5 time zones or something.
Is that?
Yeah.
I always thought it was 3, but yeah, anyway.
It stretches across 5 time zones, but funnily enough, China only uses 1.
Which is insane.
Which is fucking stupid.
I actually saw this. I read this. As in, sometimes it's 8 o'clock everywhere, but it's still very sunny.
Yeah.
And people can't go to bed because of it.
Yeah, and it also means that if you jump over the western sort of Chinese border, you get a 3-hour time gap. Wow. Because it's such a stupid way of doing things. I can get it. We're trying to make everything run smoother.
I mean, we have everything digital now. I don't understand why they can't just run multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, the US does it. I mean, it's a bit annoying to hear Eastern Standard Time after everything, but it works. It's still a system that works. Kind of. It's one of the few things that does work over there. But yeah, speaking of China and the reason why we have so much shit in from China, it's usually down to a couple of guys. Get ready for a name alert here. Percival Victor David Ezekiel David.
Double David in one name?
Double David in one name, yeah. So I had to sound the whole thing out. Quite a lot of the... Because I started this list, I sort of looked at, okay, what's like the single most expensive collection of stuff that was ever gifted to the
let me
British Museum?
guess.
Guess a number.
Oh, number.
Like, how much do you think
it's
it was
probably
worth?
It's probably something out of jade, right? So it's probably worth about 2.5 million.
Rookie numbers.
Is it rookie numbers?
This is the collection of Sir Percival David.
Oh, it's a collection, not just a single item.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. This is
we're talking billions then.
We're talking £1 billion for his collection of Chinese ceramics. This there's a reason that these are so expensive, because there's a massive collection spans a whole breadth of time. He's got his own like special room in the British Museum for his collection.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I need to see Mr. David's.
He's a very unassuming looking gentleman, but he does wear a bow tie in all the photos I could see of him.
So when was this donated?
This was donated by his. He died in 1964. He was around basically when we kind of we still owned India, basically, which is why he's Sir Percival David Baronet, the second Baronet of Bombay.
Okay.
A baronet of somewhere. He was kind of a big deal. I think his dad basically owned like the Bank of India. So,
I mean,
this guy had money.
That's what I'm about to say. I can see where he has his money from, because buying so much stuff.
Yeah, he's part of this sort of weird collection of guys who were sort of like men out of time for the last 20 years of their life after World War II, because all the titles and stuff, they still had it, but it didn't really mean anything anymore. And
because it's
and they didn't have anything to pass on to their kids because the baronets didn't exist anymore. So they were like, the baronet has become extinct. It happens all over the place.
Okay, so his family donated all this stuff?
He had like an institution. Basically, he had his own museum in London where he kept like a whole bunch of his shit. The institution got itself into a bit of financial trouble during the 2000s, but it kept going after he died.
Okay.
So eventually, his entire collection of 1,700 pieces of 10th to 18th century Chinese ceramics, including what are called the two David vases, which are the oldest example of blue and white porcelain.
Ooh.
Literally the first ones, estimated to be from 1351. Like, this is the earliest, like, it's the very classic sort of Chinese pottery style with, like, the blue dragons and shit going around.
Yeah.
That's, like, this is all of that kind of stuff. This is where that look comes from.
Now I'm excited to go back to London. It's very hard to get me excited to go back into London, because... London.
It's London, yeah.
Because it's London.
It's the big smoke. It's the big hot smoke, which is constantly sweaty.
Did you actually notice how, even though they put all these rules that you can't drive through London and you have to pay all these taxes if you want to drive through London and blah, 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 it's still really smoky.
It's still smoky and it's still fully really, really hot.
It's really unpleasant to be there. Every single time I'm
just
like...
muggy, man. It's just like...
It's not nice. They need to do something about that.
Yeah, they really do. Not sure what to do with it, really. If cars aren't the major cause of the problem, we'll find out what is. I think it's... To be honest, I just think it's just way too much concrete. There's way too much,
and
like, tarmac.
way too much people.
I don't know. London's a bit like cramped, but yeah, whatever. City design talk can wait for another day.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Institute basically gifted all of this stuff to the British Museum in 2025. It had been on loan there for like ages, but
because he needed to make money.
Yeah, because they needed to keep the lights on, so they were loaning it to the British Museum for the longest time. But in last year, they finally just said, "All right, fuck it, have it." So
have all this crap.
Yeah, have all this stuff that is ancient, from the Yuan dynasty or whatever. That's what kind of the impressive part about this collection, because it covers so many dynasties, like from there's the Qing, the Song, the Yuan, and the Ming. So that's like four of the major like big dynasty era.
Yeah. I mean, the man probably really loved his stuff.
Oh yes, he did. He was
in order to collect so much stuff, you need to really. I imagine he was the guy that was always outbidding people at the auctions.
Yes, I think he was, because he came from banking money, so like
he could.
Yeah. I mean, that most of this stuff, sometimes we're not entirely sure how it's even made, like how it was made at the time with the technology that they had.
Okay.
It's like, oh, wow, this is much earlier than we thought this kind of technology was, in existence.
Yeah. Well, people that's a really hard word to say, isn't it?
People are ingenious, is that what you're...
Yeah. They will find a way to do things.
That is true, especially if you're, like, making shit for the god emperor or whatever, because Chinese society was kind of, the emperor was kind of similar to Japan, like, the emperor is a quasi-divine kind of, embodiment of a god on earth. So when you make shit for him and he commissions something, it better be fucking good.
Yeah, you find a way to do it.
You find a way to do it very fucking well. Yeah, the whole lot, valued at about £1 billion quid, is now on display in the British Museum. Like the really big pieces, like there's a beautiful collection of what they call moon vases.
Okay.
Because they're like round, they're like the moon shape, like, and they have that very, very delicate sort of like inlaid of like trees and like petals and flowers and that kind of stuff. Looks a little bit gay on the surface, but when you get up close,
looks gay on the surface.
Like
says.
It's not like when you're a little kid. I saw it when I was a little kid.
In China was hunched over this thing for months and months to make it perfect, and he said it looked gay on the surface.
Well, it's the thing is, like with the art, it's kind of exemplifying fragility, like the fragility of the pottery and because it's so thin. But also the very, very delicate nature of everything.
So why is that gay?
Just because it's
so sorry.
That's my child brain from museum. Like when I was like a little kid, like it's a bit gay. It's just flowers, isn't it? But
wow.
Like, can I go back to the War Museum? There was more explosions and shit there. That's like 9-year-old Billy mindset. But beautiful pair of vases.
No, it's
very,
beautiful.
very delicate artwork on it.
I'm not letting this go. Just so you know.
You're acting like I'm just going over to China and just like
this
finding a pottery man.
This will come up again, Billy. Don't worry.
Bring me the pottery maker. I will call it gay to his face. But he's got like obviously not every single thing in the collection is on display at once. Like they still have like piles and piles of stuff behind the scenes. But it is kind of like impressive, just like how he managed to like it took his entire life to collect all this shit.
Yeah.
But he was constantly just like moving around like the world and just collecting all sorts of crazy shit, and then dying, and then he just died and left it all like to this foundation, which is still around and still trading artifacts, and even if it's sold most of its shit to the British Museum now.
Well, what's the point of the foundation? This I never know. Oh, maybe just to preserve his collection, but still. Yeah,
preservation's one of the arguments that people, like, because we'll get into this in a bit, I suppose, but, the morality of keeping this stuff in England, one of the biggest and probably the best arguments that they could make for keeping this shit in England, rather than, taking it back to China, showing off some of the stuff that they made in their country there.
Yeah.
Because Britain has not been invaded for a long time, so...
Which is, I mean, to a certain degree...
Here, allegedly.
To a certain degree, they're not wrong.
Yeah, I could, like, okay, for example, Egypt has had a couple of different dictators in the last, so in the interest of cultural preservation, one might say it's safer to keep all their shit in our country.
Which is, I mean, it's actually a good argument, because if you look at the Middle East, they're destroying artifacts.
Yeah, ISIS love doing that shit. I can't remember where it was that they burned, but it was like an ancient mosque that was like part of the Baghdad House of Wisdom, and they just torched the fucking thing.
So it's like, in a way, you can see how that's...
Yeah.
They can make that argument being like, I can't give you shit back.
Yeah.
You're gonna burn it, so I'd rather keep it here.
I imagine, like, for Chinese stuff, a lot of that, like... I imagine they held on to quite a lot of the shit because of Mao.
Isn't the Chinese people just afraid of their current government destroying all their artifacts anyway, because they're kind of brainwashing everybody?
I mean,
to a certain degree.
The thing is, they might be they're putting the Chinese government at the moment is putting the gas on like the sort of national Chinese heritage thing. Yeah, they're trying to bring back like make China great again, basically.
Why are people taking notes from that, man? I
don't know. But they've got this sort of cultural revival of like classical Chinese imperialist sort of speaking like glorifying the past sort of thing.
Okay.
despite the fact that Imperial China famously sucked and everyone,
because they were all divided.
Because they kept dividing against each other and killing each other, and then foreign powers would show up who weren't fighting each other and said, give us your shit.
Yeah, because you're not powerful enough. It's like, fascism. It's very strong when they're all together.
It's almost like these ideas are connected. But yeah, the current Chinese government might actually start asking for some of this stuff back because, it's their history at the end of the day.
Yeah, but at what point you turn around and say, "Oh, we actually paid money for this, so this is mine"?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What point is where somebody can turn around and be like, "I actually paid money for this, so technically, even though it's out of your patronage, it's mine because I paid money for it"?
That's the thing. These are privately owned collections that were sold on the market.
The fact of ownership, right?
Yeah.
Because if you own something, you own something. You can't just come to me and be like, "Oh, actually, it wasn't taken right from us." And I'm like, "Yeah, how many years ago?" You're like, "That was 400 years ago, man. Stop talking to me."
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we also only just gave them back Hong Kong. So when you think about it, they were probably more focused on that for a while.
Well, we'll see if that's going to happen.
We'll see if they ask for it back. I don't know if they will. They might. But the thing is, when it comes to ownership and like property rights and copyright, for example, the Chinese government does not give a fuck about Western
So they can
laws.
make their own fake stuff. I mean, like they make they make fake Rolexes. They might as well.
So what you're basically saying is they should just plagiarize themselves and just...
Yeah. It's not plagiarizing because it's your own culture. To a certain degree.
That's it.
You can't claim it's old.
No,
you can be
true.
like, "Oh, this is the moon vase of this and that," but it's an replica. And
you know what might be? I just had this idea, just come out, when you're talking about recreating old shit. I'm wondering how much Chinese history was lost during the Cultural Revolution. How many artifacts do you think got smashed up?
But they burned books and they burned. They
burned people, man.
Yeah.
They burned people for being old.
Fine. People will reproduce books you can't remake.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a horrible thing to say.
It's kind of true. But the Cultural Revolution was a bad idea, people. Don't support Mao. He's a fucking nutter.
He was.
I imagine they probably, during the 70s, while Mao was doing his thing, I imagine they probably kept a lot of the artifacts over here just because, well, these fuckers might smash them all to get rid of the old or whatever.
Yeah, but that was the point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're all united, we're all one, all of this fighting and whatever we created from fighting.
Don't worry about history. We used to be just know that the glorious Communist Party is here and everything's going to be all right forever. Yeah. That was Mao's line.
It's really great now. They're doing great.
Yeah, by becoming capitalists. Yeah, really good capitalists.
It's funny because now they went from being communists. They made their own sort of thing now.
Yeah,
right? They're a capitalist communist society, which is insane because communism would stand against capitalism.
Yeah, it's not really communism.
So they kind of built it in the capitalist communist society.
Yeah. The whole history of China's ideological swing after Mao was actually a really fucking fascinating story because Deng, the guy who took over after Mao, he sort of very slowly, very meticulously sort of liberalized the markets, allowed China's massive workforce to be open to the world,
Yeah.
And it was a very, very slow and careful process, and how he did it was really fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
But it's a long-ass podcast to do some other time.
Let's move on, Billy, because we went on a tangent again.
Quite literally, the crown in the jewel of the British Empire, right? India.
Yeah.
What do you know about India?
It's a country and they make great curry.
It's not really a country. We kind of made it up. Before the East India Company showed up out there and started conquering shit and eventually took over the entire country.
Well, the East Indian Company was actually gifted Bombay, right? Because that's how it started. They got gifted Bombay, and then they were like, "Oh, we're here."
A city of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people.
No, they were quite tiny to begin with.
Oh, was it?
And they made the West India Company made it.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then we're like, "Oh, how about we take some more land? Because these people just gifting land down here."
Yeah. And plus, before they showed up, India was all kinds of fractional warlords and it was lots of power games and internal struggle. Same thing with China, really. China was weak when we showed up and just went hey guys, we got these fucking guns. Do you want some drugs? Yeah.
Drugs.
Do you want drugs and guns? Maybe we'll build a railway so we can take more of your shit. But yeah, also have some drugs and guns. But yeah, so one of the things that they used to call India the jewel in the crown of the British Empire because it was, it's a fucking paradise there. massive areas of arable farmland, lots and lots of people there to make up a workforce if you want to mine shit, tons of natural resources. And before partition, before Pakistan got chopped off and Bangladesh and that whole fucking situation, it was like one of the largest territories we owned besides like Canada. You know, and
Canada, half of it they can't even use.
Yeah, Canada's mostly useless. It's all just like snow and mooses and shit. Like, there's not that much you could do with that. There is a fuckload of oil, but we didn't know about that yet.
Well, we weren't interested in oil at that point.
No, oil wasn't like as essential. You know, it was mostly like paper and spices and shit. You know.
Yeah.
Which would never get used in any food. So I don't know what they did with them all. What?
I'm just waiting for you to get to a point.
Oh, thanks, dude. So yeah, literally, you've seen like the crown of the English Queen, right?
Yeah.
It's officially called Queen Mary's crown. It's the one that the Royal Mail logo has on it.
Yeah.
Did you know the main diamond in that was stolen from India?
Yes.
Yes, of course you did, because
it was a whole thing, wasn't it?
It was, but funnily enough, there's a lot of argument over who it was stolen from before that. So here's this. As far as
wait, did we ever give it back?
No, it's still there. It's still it was.
No, we're just holding it for them.
Yes, and using it to crown Queen Camilla.
Ew. Just give it back now. It's tainted.
Yeah, like they don't want it back anymore.
They don't want it back.
Sausage Fingers has like put his hands on it. They don't want it. They don't want that shit.
They're like, just keep it now.
Yeah, it's touched by a King Charles, which is just a curse. So you know.
it's like.
But yeah, the literal crown jewel of like Queen Victoria's crown, you know, the one that the Queen wore, the Queen Mother's crown, the literal biggest diamond in it. It's called the Koh-i-Noor diamond. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yes, it's quite a famous story because it came up quite recently, actually. We'll get to that. But originally, just for little reference for numbers here, guess how many carats the diamond is?
160.
It's 105.
Oh, cool.
Currently.
I just threw a number.
That is a random number, but you were pretty fucking close, to be fair. Yeah, it's a gigantic diamond. It's like literally priceless. You couldn't put money, like, you couldn't really estimate like how valuable it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a massive diamond, and B, it's got all this history, which I'm about to go through.
Okay, cool.
We're not quite sure where exactly it came from, like where it was mined or whatever, but it was passing around like various like kings and warlords of India for fucking years.
Yeah.
I think it could be from 1310 that it was sort of, first mined. From the Delhi Sultanate, I think. Is that a sultanate or was it a caliphate? I can't fucking remember. Then eventually it's all filtered its way down to Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire.
Okay.
Big empire, very, very important. They were kind of there when the British showed up, but they were on the way out. Very confusing internal.
And I bet the British are part. They're like, can we help you?
Yeah.
We'll just help you move. We have these guys. They have a van. They call the guy with the van, and I'm like, we can move you along.
Who is Irish for some reason.
Yeah. For no reason.
For literally no reason. Yeah. But yeah, Babur, the king of the Mughals, he owned it for a little while. It was said, by outside observers, that it was valuable enough to pay for 2.5 days of food for the entire world. That's how they tried to sort of sum up its value.
Wow.
Yeah, it was embedded in all sorts of different fittings, armlets and jewelry. Eventually it came into the hands of a guy called Ranjit Singh. Have you ever heard of the name Ranjit Singh?
No, I didn't.
Founder of what became known as the Sikh Empire.
I know about Sikhs, yeah.
Yes, but his was like the biggest sort of Sikh empire that ended up fighting the British for control over Lahore and parts of Pakistan.
Yeah.
So where Lahore, Pakistan is now, that's where his kingdom was.
Yeah.
And he was kind of an interesting character. He was insanely paranoid, but also very, very good at creating an empire. He was quite good at, warfare.
Most paranoid people are good at creating shit.
Yes.
Because, that's how you think of every single worst case scenario, and you kind of prepare
it's how you don't get cooed, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. Apparently he was quite a drunk, though, Mr. Ranjit Singh. He liked to drink a bit. And when he was drunk, one of his subjects once stole a priceless artifact of his. So ever since then, he was very, very paranoid about the diamond and keeping it like out. He used to like run camel trains, like across the mountains and stuff. And he would have like 10 camels that were identical with identical bags on each one, and he as like decoys, so that if bandits came, they would he
just have to pick something and might be the wrong thing.
Yeah. So there's 10 different camels, and like if you're going to try and snatch and run one of those camels, you less chance of getting it right.
So it's a 10% chance that you will actually get the good shit.
Yeah, basically. It was quite a clever ruse, really. But He eventually the paranoia and the drinking got to him, and the Singh family was had a bunch of sort of internal fractures. So around the 1840s, there was just a shitload of coups, like just coup after coup. Like that guy gets cooed by the other guy's brother. This uncle comes along.
See, they didn't give him enough land, because the only way you can not be cooed is by making sure everybody in your family is rich.
Yeah.
That's how you keep them happy, and they're like, okay, I'm too fat now, and I'm too happy to actually do anything about anything, and then you end up not having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen. There was just constant infighting and shit within the sort of imperial dynasty, if you want to call it that. So how Mr. Ranjit Singh came by this is actually a matter of much debate. How he came by the diamond in the first place.
Okay.
We know he acquired it in 1813 from a Shah that was that he fought a war against and won. The Shah, Mr. Ranjit Singh says it was taken as a peace offering. It was like, here, take this valuable diamond, just stop killing me and my people, right?
Yeah.
The guy's actual memoirs tell a different story. Apparently, he gave it to him because he would not stop torturing his son in front of him.
That's one way of doing
That's
it.
one way of extracting a peace talk, I suppose.
Yeah. It's like, you want to talk to me? No, we don't want to talk to you. Nail out.
Just nail his feet to the floor and start from there.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that working on Trump? I can't imagine that working on Trump. It's like, we got Don Jr.
Allegedly. Dude, don't fucking say that on the fucking podcast. That's inciting violence.
No, it's not. Just like, if, Iran captured Don Jr., do you think he would actually do anything to get him back?
No. It would do us a favor.
Getting a little close to Fed posty there, my friend.
Just move on.
Just moving on to, can't talk about
This is not the CIA.
But yeah, after an absolute shitload of coups, lots of internal strife and weakness, a few years later, it turned out Duleep Singh was placed on the throne. Here's the thing about Duleep Singh. He's 5. He's 5 when he's placed on the throne. And
his pacifier was the diamond.
Literally.
He was just sitting there, sucking on a diamond.
Basically. Unfortunately for the 5-year-old who was and his uncle who was technically running things, who was only about 20. Because they were like the last ones of the family left that weren't hadn't been killed or cooed or whatever. So those two got faced with the entire British army coming along to fuck up all their shit and steal land. So then there was a couple of Anglo-Sikh wars, they were called. We kind of both, we just curb stomped them, basically. It was just, sheer amount of men and guns. Couldn't really do much about it.
Yeah.
Especially if your emperor is 5. So a few years later, at the ripe age of 9, he had to sign a peace treaty with Queen Victoria herself. And in that peace treaty was the gift of the Kohinoor diamond.
Do you reckon they were like, whilst we were raiding you, we actually saw that diamond up there? Well, is there any chance, would you consider giving us the diamond and we will stop, killing your people?
Yeah.
You reckon that's how it went?
They probably went like, look, here's a panda pop, kid. Give us the fucking diamond.
Yeah, he's a panda pop. Give us the diamond. He's like, oh, cool, panda pop.
I mean, he's 9 years old and he's signing away the most valuable jewel of his family's collection. This is stuff that Ranjit Singh used to have portraits of himself made with it in his turban and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a fucking big diamond and it looks cool. So unfortunately, the 9-year-old signed away in the last treaty of Lahore, it was called. The last treaty. They specifically named it that so that there wouldn't be any more.
Were there more?
No. That was basically the end of, that was sort of the end of the Sikh resistance against the British Empire. And it sucked. It sucked for everybody for a long time there. But Queen Victoria got to walk away with a fucking massive diamond. And so that diamond became royal property.
That's great.
Yes, so it was taken back to England, where, funnily enough, they actually weren't very happy with it. They were going to put this in we're going to put this in a scepter or something cool like that. But they actually thought, it's a bit dull. So what we're going to do? We're going to recut it.
No.
Yeah.
They recut it.
They recut it in 1852. Yeah.
That's horrible.
It kind of is. They actually ended up cutting a lot more off of it than they planned to make it work, to make it fit in the crown, basically.
What did they do with the offcuts of that?
Fuck knows, man. I mean, that's one of those lost in the dustbin of history kind of things. Apparently, Prince Albert was very annoyed at how much they cut it down. He's like, I sent it off to like be neatened up. I didn't want you fuckers to do this. You know.
Why didn't they just give it a polish or something?
I don't know, man. Like, it's an ancient diamond. I don't know anything about treating ancient diamonds. Do you? I mean,
no. But I would reckon you could pour it in gold or something and just make it look nice.
Yeah, like, you know, if it doesn't sparkle as much because it got dug out of the ground 500 years ago, then, you know, work something out.
Maybe tough. It doesn't sparkle enough. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's horrible. I didn't know it got cut.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it looks good for what it's worth, but it is not the original diamond really anymore, which kind of sucks.
No, because it's basically a new diamond. Well, it's not a new diamond, but the idea is it's a completely different sort of thing.
It's a whole different cut now, you know, and it's been designed basically to fit into the crown of the British Empire. So it's kind of permanently altered, you know, even if we, you know, did give it back. They're not receiving the same sort of. No. I mean, maybe they've got the offcuts like there in case they want to give it back, and they just put it all back together.
They can't glue it back together, man.
Just a little bit of super glue.
Just a bit of super glue, you said.
Yeah, use nail glue. That shit works on anything. Like, you know.
Fuck me, dude.
I'm pretty sure nail glue does not work on diamonds. Do not ruin your diamonds by trying to glue things to them with nail glue.
Or do. I don't care.
Or do. Fuck it. Fuck you.
I don't care. Just do your thing.
So ever since India's been independent, they've been asking for the diamond back. Like, literally, it was like one of the first things they did when they became independent again.
Yeah.
It's like 1947, boom, India's independent. Britain, give us our shit back. And the answer was no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because they actually got them to write a contract. So why would you, go against the contract, you know?
Yes, it was that's the thing. Every single time India has formally or informally requested the diamond back, the same sort of shit happens. It's like, well, you did sign a peace treaty in like 1849. Well, slight problem with that logic. I mean, the kid was 9. Like, what does his signature mean? He was 9 at the time. Can a child enter into a contract like that in British law? No. So
I don't think even back in the day.
No, you couldn't. Like, I mean, depending if you were like signing yourself up for work or whatever. But yeah, children don't have the, right or legal authority to, sign contracts, even if they are the Maharaja or whatever.
Yeah.
This is why I mentioned Indiana Jones, because basically, the kid, like, who's the Maharaja in Indiana Jones, that was based on the real guy. That's like his style, everything. Even though I think he was in, I think he's supposed to be in India rather than Pakistan, but basically the whole thing, was like that's the Maharaja. A kid, but even he was like a little bit too old for the part. He was like 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
This kid's like, he's not even hit puberty yet, and he's just like, well,
not even close to puberty.
Yeah, I suppose in order for my country to survive, I have to like give up my diamond, and then the country didn't really survive.
Of course it didn't, because British Empire.
Yeah,
I'm just no.
We just nicked them, turned them into one of our like favorite martial races, and used them for wars. That was kind of what the British Empire liked doing.
Yeah, especially in India.
Yeah, especially with the Sikhs, because the Sikhs gave us quite a good sporting contest of war, as they put it back then.
Ugh.
So they got a lot of respect for the Sikhs after they'd already kicked the shit out of them.
But still.
And then we used the Sikhs to invade Afghanistan.
Of course we did. Because why wouldn't we?
Because it's there. You don't understand, Andre.
The Sikhs are already there.
It's there. Yeah, there's brown people. They might have stuff. That's the British Empire for you. So this is where the question sort of gets a bit interesting of like, what do we do with the diamond? Because 3 separate countries have claim to it, and that doesn't include Britain.
Okay, well, don't really have a claim. Well, technically, to a certain degree.
Well, we did nick it. Possession is 10 cents of the law.
But wow, dude.
It's like, I've got it in my hand, therefore it is mine, to a certain extent.
Well, also, there's a contract written, right? So
there is a written contract with a 9-year-old who, was from a dying empire, which doesn't exist anymore, legally, or, even, like, culturally, really. I mean, the Sikhs as a people still exist, obviously, but, there's no, like, Sikh empire revivalism right now.
So let's
as far as I'm aware.
Horrible ideas with Andre. That's the theme song for it. Let them revive the Sikh Empire and give them diamond back.
Oh god.
I know, right? It's a horrible idea. I did say horrible ideas. I did not undersell it.
Oh, yeah, let's just redo partition. Why don't we do that?
Yeah. Just
Fuck,
do that.
man.
Resplit the whole country. Wow. That's even worse idea.
I know. So India claims that they have ownership of it because, obviously the place was in historical British India. Pakistan has probably a stronger claim to it because like the Sikh Empire was based there.
Yeah.
But also Afghanistan. In 2000, the Taliban's foreign spokesminister said actually. Because it was extracted from the torture of the Shah of Afghanistan at the time, because it was extracted illegitimately through torture, that means it actually belongs to the Taliban.
So they need to figure out where the mine was and then give a fourth person a say as well. Be like, actually, was it from our mine, so we can get it.
Yeah, if they could prove that it came from an Afghani mine, then maybe. But I don't know where you might find.
But still, you take diamonds out of the ground all the time. So with somebody's engagement ring can be claimed at any point. Like this is the other thing, right? Can somebody's engagement ring be claimed by somebody else?
Ah, that's an interesting. Like if it's a blood diamond or
it's
whatever.
a blood diamond, right?
Yeah, it's
how are you gonna fight that one?
So if Nelson Mandela came over and said that diamond on your ring is a blood diamond and I will have it back for the good of my people, then you kind of like, can you say no to that? That's odd. I mean, obviously,
no, you will say no to that. I'll be like, my dude, somebody sold it to me. Go find the guy that sold it to me. Fight with him about it. Ask him for the money at least.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the same time,
these are long questions that could go on forever because it goes back to ethics and like the definition of what makes something property, which is a fucking complicated question. We don't have time or education enough for that.
Which is true.
I know I'm a bit behind on my Bakunin, But so the Taliban have. I like to think, in 2000, the Taliban were just like sort of joking, but then the British took them seriously and thought they were coming for the crown jewels.
Have you ever seen the Taliban joke?
I guess so. Not. I don't know. I mean, this is the 2000 Taliban. It's different from the modern Taliban.
Yeah.
In the fact that
I imagine a bunch of dudes were sitting in the room, like, what's gonna be funny to do?
Let's fuck with the British. Oh shit, they're coming again.
Yeah.
Because then, of course, in 2001, we invaded them alongside the Americans.
Yeah,
I like to think that
we invaded them because of that.
They were literally going to come and steal our crown jewels, man. We had to invade the Taliban.
We just needed a good excuse.
I think they should do it again now that now the Taliban is back in control of Afghanistan. They should just go, hey, can we get that diamond? And then see.
You asked. We talked about this a few years back, and we actually put this into writing.
Just like as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by 20 years of war. Can I have the fucking diamond?
Yeah. And another 20 years of...
I wonder if it's even this... I don't know what happened to that foreign minister, actually. I wonder if he's still around. Because he might be still quite high up in the Taliban today. I didn't check. Maybe interesting to learn more about the guys in charge of Afghanistan one of these days.
I'm not sure if we should go down that rabbit hole.
I don't think we should. No, it's probably going to be way too long and way too insane
and too complicated.
Yeah, internal Taliban politics are not my area of expertise. I'd have to learn a whole shitload. So yeah, that was like the sort of biggest, like, kind of longest story I could find. Like, in terms of like a single item, that's just one item.
That needs to go back. Right?
That needs to go the fuck back. But I've got a couple more that have been contested. A thing called the Elgin marbles. Have you ever seen those? You might remember those from Greece.
I have not. From Greece, the Elgin marbles.
Yes, it's actually like, it's not like a game of marbles. It's not just like little...
I was thinking, is it like marbles?
No, it's not actually marbles. I thought it was like going to be like some really fine glass marbles or something, but no, it's giant fucking statues like horses and scenes.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, but the one with the funny horse. That's the way I remember it.
Here's the thing. We kind of need to go give those ones back.
We do kind of need to give those ones back.
Because those ones are fully part of their history.
Yeah, and they weren't actually sold by the Greeks. That's the thing. The British argument is, well, these were sold to us 150 so years ago. So technically, we bought them. We paid money for them. The Greeks say, no, fuck you. That's not correct. We were under the control of the Ottoman Empire at the time, and the Ottoman Empire had no fucking right to sell those things. I mean, because it belongs to Greece.
But they can always turn around, right, and be like, okay, cool, you can have them back.
Yeah,
but paid us with inflation, so we can get our money back from whatever we paid. Then Greece has no money, and they're gonna shut up.
Yeah,
he's like, listen, we are more than willing. Just pay us back the money we paid. We don't want you to pay us more money than we paid for them. You know, we're not going to reevaluate them, but we need to adjust the money for inflation. And there's going to be a few billion, and nobody's going to... They're going to stop talking.
They'll be like, oh, shit. Like, we're going to have to, like, adjust our property taxes system again to, like, combat that.
Yeah,
raise enough money to get the marbles back. The thing is, like, the Greeks actually have a museum for them set up, like, ready to go. Like,
okay.
They actually have, like, it's on the Parthenon. It's the Parthenon Museum.
Oh, if they're smart, they can be like, listen, guys, can we just borrow them for a little bit? Just so we put them in our museum so our people stop complaining that you guys having them and never give them back. Basically what the UK does.
Yeah, like the loan thing. It's on loan.
Just loan it to us for a little bit. Just for a little bit. We're going to give it back to you when we're done with them. We just want people to stop complaining we don't have them. And then never give them back.
Yeah, that's
basically what the British Museum is doing.
See, once again, Andre, you perfect the crimes of our government.
No, it's not perfecting it. I'm teaching Greece this time how to do it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but they've got like a whole like empty space in their museum, and they've got like basically a little sign there saying, "Yeah, sorry, Britain still has these."
Okay.
I think they got a good argument, to be honest. I mean, the Ottomans were dicks. They
did destroy a lot.
They, especially Christian and ancient Greek culture, they destroyed quite a lot of shit.
Yeah, because they wanted to implement their own culture in the country, and the only way you can implement your own culture is by destroying the culture that already existed there.
Yeah, which is why the Greeks in the Balkan countries eventually kicked them out in like the 1910s, because fuck those guys.
We didn't want to speak Turkish.
Yeah, also the Ottoman Empire loved kidnapping children.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah. I am still working on the Dracula episode.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that.
It's going to be fun.
Speaking of, you mentioned, stuff that really should be going back that we, loan back to people. Let's talk about Africa for a second.
Oh, fuck.
So, modern-day Nigeria, formerly the Kingdom of Benin. I'm not entirely sure if I'm saying that right. It might be Benin.
You're probably not saying it right.
Benin, I don't fucking know. But the Kingdom of Benin, where modern... Nigeria is. You ever heard of a thing called the Scramble for Africa? When all the European countries basically got together and drew a bunch of lines on a map, so who should own what bit of Africa, and then they invaded all at once.
Yeah, we did that too much.
Yeah, so that's what happened to the Benin Kingdom, or it was kind of fading out of relevance itself by then. But yeah, we swarmed in, took over the place in like 1897, along with France and a whole bunch of other shit. It became like the British Gold Coast, like that east part of Africa, which is now Ghana, and then there's Nigeria, which is like, based around like Lagos and places like that. Big ass fucking countries. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of bronze edifices, like statues, like depicting events from like the Benin Kingdom's history.
Okay.
Very, very cool pieces. They're all like sculpted of bronze, like pressed. And they're very, very cool bits of art. Yeah, we basically just, as soon as we got there, just like nicked them in 1897. We sent guys with cowboy hats and giant moustaches. There's photos of this. Guys with like cowboy hats, pith helmets, and like those giant waxed up moustaches.
Yeah.
Just like sitting on boxes and boxes of shit that we're stealing from them.
But can you make an argument saying that maybe it's for the best? Because the whole area, it's been constant war for the past
Nigeria generally hasn't. Nigeria is not really involved in any major wars at the moment, I don't think.
At the moment?
Yeah, I mean, considering how many people are in Nigeria is a very, very difficult place to conquer, so no one's really tried it, because they've just got way more people than most places, It's kind of like, it's one of the most, I think it's like 200 million people in Nigeria. It's a difficult place to conquer, so... I think it probably would have been perfectly safe in like certain.
So let's give it back then.
Yeah, we
don't have an excuse to just keep them then.
Well, eventually, what happened is we started loaning this stuff to African museums. So even though it's
loaning their own stuff back to them, are we charging them for
probably? I could not find out how much. This is all closely guarded secrets. I don't know how much they pay for this
because they don't want you to know.
Of course not. I mean, I might think, really, should we be extracting that much wealth for them to look at their own history? I don't think so. We should just give it back, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's another. I mentioned Ghana a second ago. There's tons of stuff in the British Museum that's from Ghana. Because Ghana was the Gold Coast, That's, yeah. So they made absolutely tons and tons of gold. Like, have you heard of the Malian Empire? Where
The Malians, they did have.
Yeah, because the guy was so rich, he caused, like, inflation across Africa and killed hundreds of people by just spending too much money.
What if you have money? What else are you gonna do with it? You're not gonna take it with you. So.
Well, he did. He took it everywhere. He took it everywhere he went, and that was the fucking problem. But yeah, tons and tons of ancient gold artifacts were just yoink. Straight to the British Museum. Thank you very much. Our kids are really going to enjoy not looking at this.
He didn't even miss it, man. He had so much of it.
There's all this fascinating shit they were able to make with gold, man. Like gold, gold hats, not helmets, like hats. Like woven gold and silver leaves intertwining.
So that's the beauty of gold, right? Because gold's been used as a currency for the longest of time. And funny enough, gold came off of asteroids. Most gold that we have came out of asteroids. It's not naturally on Earth. And everybody saw a shiny rock, and they're like, oh, cool, it's a shiny rock. And then they realized, oh, this shiny rock doesn't go like the rest of the metals. It doesn't rust. And they're like, oh, cool, we can keep this for a long time. We can put it into water, whatever. If it gets soaked, it doesn't matter. And everybody was, at some point in history, they agreed that, oh, let's just give each other shiny coins. And this, instead of taking 10,000 cattle across the world to trade with the guys across the world, we just give them gold. Is fascinating.
It is the history of gold in particular.
And it's very my point was, because obviously there's no point, but my point was, gold is very soft, so you can make it into whatever you like, and its properties are absolutely insane. That's why you find it in a lot of like phones and stuff.
Technology. It's incredibly useful and also incredibly pretty, which is why we kind of spent most of human history doing fights with each other over that.
Rare.
It's quite rare. Yeah, there's tons of silver around, but gold is still rare. Speaking of gold, this is in terms of imperial colonialist sacrilege. Do you ever know what do you ever find out what happened to all the Aztec gold that the conquistadors from Spain nicked?
Oh, they melted when they got to Spain.
Melted it into fucking bars, the pricks. They had thousands of hand-carved gold statues and all this shit that used to belong to Montezuma the emperor, and it just all went in the melting pot. It's fuck you for doing that, Spain. We missed out on so much shit.
It's easier to store in bar form.
It's easier to take out of the country and take back to Spain. Yeah, that's why they did that shit.
Yeah.
If there was in terms of disrespecting other people's cultures when they invade shit, the Spanish were actually a bit worse than the English.
The story with giving blankets infested with disease.
That whole that was
was that the English? No,
that was English. To be fair, the Americans kind of it was kind of the Native Americans as well.
That was
I don't think by that point they were British anymore. I think that was our post.
Oh, you're just trying to.
I think that was post them becoming independent.
You are wiggling out of this one, aren't you?
Oh no, we did tons of fucked up shit. Trust me, but that's what we've been talking about. Stealing diamonds from fucking children.
Yeah,
but quite a lot of the gold stuff, from the African Gold Coast, is still around. At least, it's visible. You can see it, and you can see it's fucking beautiful work. Because
craftsmen are craftsmen, man, and they had a lot more time to do this sort of things.
They really did. And they had commissions from very, very rich and wealthy men, the Malian emperor, to do half of this stuff. But yeah, this collection in particular, from the Asante region, which is Ghana, modern day Ghana, it was from this. It's not as old as you might think. It's from the 1600s. So we'd kind of already started navigating around that part of the world by then.
Yeah.
We've been sailing up and down the African coast and shit, and it was the first sort of great age of exploration. And we came across these beautiful vestments and thought, maybe in a couple of 100 years we'll come back and
we'll just take this.
Well, just take this and put it in some boxes and get tons of white people to sit on it. We found all this stuff which we stole from this guy down the road.
We'll just move it into the safe place. We'll just keep it there for you. But one day maybe you can have it back if you pay us well enough.
Yeah,
well, we can loan it to you for some money.
That's basically what they're doing with that stuff right now. So Ghana is a very small country. It's quite poor. Maybe we shouldn't be charging them to have their own shit on display in their country.
Yeah, money.
I mean, the thing is with Ghana is it was the first African nation to become independent, and it's always had really good relationships with England, with us still.
But did they ever turn around and be like, "Can we have our shit back?" Don't think so.
Kind of not really, but there's a lot of people who noticed that it's missing, if that makes sense. Who do want to have their shit back. Thank you very much. It's just a shame. I mean, I understand because this becomes the big sort of argument. Is it should we give it back or should we keep it in England where we can see it? Like,
Well, it would be exposed to more of the world if you keep it in England. See, that's another argument you can do. Like we want to expose your culture to the rest of the world, but not many people will travel to Ghana.
yeah, because, Ghana's actually pretty safe as far as Africa
But still, if you would have the choice as an European to go to Ghana or in England.
Yeah, just the price alone is going to be difficult.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's expensive to go to Africa.
It is. It's unfortunate because I'd like to see Africa a bit more before I die. There's tons of cool shit there.
Or you can go to Africa and die, and then you're like, it's in Africa.
As like a part of British tradition, I was go to Africa, get malaria, and die.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
I mean, you need to go in a good, fashionable manner, sir. You can't just die like a peasant at home.
To be fair, I mean, the great age of like Victorian exploration in Africa really was just like a bunch of like,
They were all bored, dude. They had a lot of money.
Really fucking bored.
They were bored, and they're like, "Oh, Daddy's rich, so I might as well go for a hunt in Africa."
Yeah, and then they end up getting lost in like woods and jungles. And
oh, poor Johnny. He was such a lovely lad, and then he ended up going in Africa. Never came back.
Because he was probably like living off of a plantation with thousands of slaves. Lots of them did that as well. But
yeah.
One day we'll talk about those sorts of things, but today I think our collection of stuff that the British stole, and should we give it back? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we probably have to give it back.
We probably should give it.
We should give it back.
Yeah, like at least stop charging them to have it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if there's a African like museum that wants their shit back, give it back to them.
Yeah. So you want me to just finish on a nice story?
Yeah,
because I actually have a really cool story. So in 1846. They decided to put two mummies up, which were two mummies of snails. Well, they were just snails that died.
Couldn't we get anything bigger, like a crocodile or some shit?
Well, they had snails. Okay, cool. So they put
shitloads of mummified crocodiles as well.
They put snails up, which were awfully dehydrated because they were African snails, and they kept them up for 4 years. And 4 years in, one of the researchers there decided to put one of the snails into water. You want to guess what happened?
It crumbled to dust.
It came back to life.
What?
It came back to life.
Fuck.
Lived for another 2 years when they died. So it was
like the average life of a snail, basically.
Yeah. So when it died, it was the longest suspended animation mollusk ever recorded. So, which is insane, right?
That is mental.
So that's a nice story to end up on this.
So we revived ancient African snails.
We did. Well, we didn't because they were just sleeping.
I changed my mind. The whole British Museum, it's fine. It's worth it.
Okay, and that bombshell. Thanks, Clarkson. We'll see you guys next time.